the becoming field. By the middle of the 24th century, humanity had perfected control over biology. Skin could be rewritten like code, bones shaped into memory alloys, organs tuned to light. People no longer aged unless they chose to. Disease had been erased, hunger forgotten, and even death had been politely redesigned into a reversible sleep. But somewhere between mastery and mercy, the Earth began to resist. It started in the agricultural zones along the equator, where crops grown from quantum seeds began to pulse with bioluminescent veins. The leaves glowed at night, singing faintly through the soil. Then came the people, farmers whose hands wouldn't stop trembling because their blood hummed in the same rhythm as the plants. When they slept, their bodies secreted resin like amber, clear and warm, filled with microscopic structures that looked disturbingly like roots. At first, the Renewal Authority thought it was a mutation, but it spread faster than any virus, across oceans, across cities, across generations. Dr. Aaron Voss, a geneticist stationed at the Aurelian Biotech Institute, was among the first to call it a symbiosis event. He watched patients with luminous veins and slow smiles say things like, "We feel the ground thinking," and "The air is learning us." It wasn't madness. Their vital signs were perfect, their minds sharper than before. But when he looked into their eyes, he saw something alien peering back. Not hostile, not kind, just awake. The government tried containment. They burned entire zones, flooded farmlands, sterilized cities. But the affected never fought back. They only stood still in the flames, humming softly as their bodies dissolved into spores that rose with the smoke and rained down miles away. Soon it wasn't infection. It was inheritance. Babies were born with chlorophyll traces in their lungs. Forests grew from human graves overnight. The transformation wasn't spreading anymore. It was completing. The planet was rebuilding itself through them. Aaron's lab became a temple of fear and fascination. The last pure humans gathered there, running tests that failed faster each day. Every scan showed the same thing. Human DNA folding open like a flower, rewriting itself into something older, something the planet had been waiting to remember. The so-called mutants could breathe carbon directly. Their hearts pumped a hybrid plasma full of microflora. When they exhaled, the air shimmered green. Aaron watched one of them, a young girl named Era, stand by the glass window and whisper to the rain. The rain answered, forming shapes that reached back toward her hands. "You're merging," he said quietly. She smiled. "No," she said. "We're coming home." That night, Aaron analyzed a sample of her blood and realized it contained structures identical to ancient fossil spores, older than any human record, as if something buried deep in the planet's memory had been reactivated by centuries of human manipulation. Evolution had looped back on itself, guided not by chance but by the planet's will. The human race had triggered its own next stage by trying to perfect life, and life had answered by rewriting what human meant. As the years collapsed into chaos, cities became gardens. Skyscrapers sprouted moss that pulsed with light. Roads cracked open, revealing glowing roots beneath. The oceans turned translucent, their depths full of shapes that looked disturbingly like people swimming in slow spirals. Those who resisted fled underground, building bunkers of steel and silence. But even there, the walls grew warm and soft, sprouting veins. Aaron stayed above ground. He stopped sending reports. He stopped pretending to cure what was clearly not a disease. When he finally stepped outside without his mask, the air didn't burn him. It welcomed him. The sky glowed faint green, alive with spores drifting like stars. His skin tingled as the wind touched it, whispering through his pores. He looked at his hand and saw faint veins of light branching beneath, pulsing in time with the heartbeat of the earth. He walked to the hills, where the last human city had been replaced by a vast field of luminous flowers. Each one swayed in rhythm, as if breathing together. In the distance stood figures made of light and muscle and vine, their faces still human but serene in a way that made him weep. He approached one. It was Ira, older now, though her body glowed with impossible energy. "Is this what we become?" he asked. She touched his chest and warmth spread through his ribs like sunrise. "You were always this," she said. "You just forgot." The wind rose, carrying voices, thousands of them, layered in harmony. Aaron felt his body dissolve, not dying, but unfolding. His flesh became translucent, his bones soft and full of light. The stars above seemed closer, the ground beneath more alive than ever. He could hear the thoughts of the soil, the laughter of the rivers, the pulse of mountains. He understood then that humanity's endless search to conquer nature had only ever been the planet's way of waking itself through them. "We were its dream," he whispered. "And now we're its memory." Era smiled, her eyes full of galaxies. "No," she said softly. "Now we're its voice." When the transformation finished, there were no humans left, at least not as history had known them. Forests breathed with lungs that had once been hearts. Rivers spoke in whispers of ancient names. The wind carried songs that sounded eerily like prayer. And sometimes, in quiet places, you could see figures of light walking through the trees, their steps growing roots, their laughter echoing like thunder made gentle. They did not speak in language anymore. They spoke in seasons. The planet had finally become what it had always wanted to be, awake, connected, whole. It remembered itself through them, through Aaron and Era and every heartbeat that had ever touched its soil. And if you listen closely on certain nights when the air glows faint green, you can still hear the whisper in the wind, calm, endless, almost human. We did not vanish. We became. The earth did not lose its people. It turned them into its voice.